We have an Andrew Wiggins update on this edition of the Heat Report by Chat Sports. I am Nic Rohloff because there is more information coming out about the Los Angeles Lakers targeting Andrew Wiggins in a trade and what they could be willing to offer the Miami Heat. We'll start with what the Lakers are interested in, and that is Andrew Wiggins. They say they are very interested in upgrading that wing position, and they have labeled Wiggins as a player they'd like to target, but they need the price to be right. That is Dan Woike. Well, the problem is, I don't think they're willing to meet the Miami Heat's asking price. I do believe that the Lakers would love to trade for Andrew Wiggins. I've said that it makes a ton of sense for the Lakers to want Wiggins because he is the perfect three to connect the backcourt that is Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic to the front court that is DeAndre and LeBron James. They need that wing that can really be that lead defender, but also be a factor offensively. And we know Wiggins can be a factor offensively, but I just don't think the Lakers are willing to trade what the Heat are asking for. And if I'm going to be honest, I agree with Pat Riley in the Heat front office in terms of their asking point. I'll tell you mine and coming up in a second. But hit that sub button for daily Miami Heat updates and to take down the Lakers in our daily sub battle. One of 8 channels here at Chat Sports in the NBA is the Lakers and Heat. So let's see who could take down the win in this trade rumor sub battle action. All right, here is another update from Dan Woike about the Lakers. And they still value their loan tradable first, whether it's 2031 or 2032. However, they have a mixture of expiring contracts, Dalton Knecht, that could be packaged together if a team was looking to shed salary. It's unclear if that package could net Andrew Wiggins. Well, Dan, I'll let you know right now, and if Rob Pelinka's watching, that ain't going to work for me, big dog. It just ain't going to work. Like, Wiggins is got a lot of negatives to him. But there's a lot more positives. And to me, expiring contracts and Dalton Knecht just isn't worth it for Miami. Like, if I'm going to trade Andrew Wiggins, I have 3 demands. In order, by the way. Number 1, I need an unprotected first-round pick. Like Dan mentioned it. Either the 2031 pick or the 2032 pick. And I understand Los Angeles' perspective of not wanting to give that up. Because if we're going to be real here, that pick is going to be very valuable. We're either talking about a Lakers team that very well could be Luka Doncic less if he leaves after the 3-year extension he just signed that runs out near the end of 2028, 2029. Or it could be a struggling Lakers team. Like, I don't know. It could be a really good one. But there is a chance that is worth a top 10 pick if Luka Doncic leaves the Lakers. So I need that pick. Connects a former first rounder, and then obviously expiring salary would work as well for Miami. To me, if you're talking a potential Andrew Wiggins trade for the Heat, those 3 demands that I just shared, that is a take it or leave it. If you do not meet all 3 of those demands / asks, I am not going to trade you Andrew Wiggins. Wiggins is not a negative asset. Don't get it twisted. We have been down on Wiggins in the past, and how he played late in the year for Miami in the playoffs and just simply missing a ton of games. But he is a valuable asset in the NBA, and he fits this Heat team much better now after the acquisition of Norman Powell. And before we continue with today's video, what say you? Would you be willing to trade Andrew Wiggins if the right price point is met? Type Y for yes or type N for no. Now, as I looked more into this and looked more at the sheets of the Heat and the Lakers after the offseason has continued to progress, the Haywood-Highsmith trade, like all of the moves each team has made, it does become very difficult for the Lakers and Heat to pull off a trade with those demands that I asked. Because it could easily get done if it was just Hachimura and a Vincent, Hachimura and a Kleba plus a first rounder. You get 2 expirings and a first. Well, that's very easy. But if you are meeting the demands that I'm asking for, which is expiring salary, Dalton Knecht, and a first-round pick, well, the trade becomes a little bit more complicated. Now, I was able to find a way around the complications, and all the complications are salary-based. But if you get the Brooklyn Nets involved, it could become much easier. So in this trade idea, the Heat get what I'm asking for: an expiring contract in Rui Hachimura, they get in Dalton Knecht, and an unprotected 2031 first-round pick. The Lakers get Andrew Wiggins. The Nets get Maxi Kleber and a second-round pick via Miami. Now, they have the roster space to take in Kleber. You ask, why would they do it? Well, I think they would be willing to take an expiring $11 million contract into their books for 1 year if they get a second-round pick out of it, which Miami would be giving up. And you're asking me, well, why am I trading a second-round pick to get this done? Well, to me, I think it would be worth it because if you come to the realization that this team is not going to contend for a championship, let's be honest, it's not going to. It could be a playoff team, but not a contending championship team. Flipping Wiggins now for expiring salary will ultimately create $80 million in open money for this 2026 summer, which could be used in a variety of different trades, could be used in free agency. You get a lot of flexibility. But you're also upgrading a 2027 second to a 2031 unprotected first-round pick and bringing in a former first-rounder in Dalton Knecht. That future first-round pick for Miami, by the way, changes everything. It opens up more picks for them to use in trades. It allows them to have a more compelling package for a superstar. And down the line, if you don't make a trade, you could just ultimately use it potentially in the top half of the first round. But you're also getting two players that I think would impact Miami this year. Would they have a better impact than Wiggins? No, probably not. But in the aggregate, Hachimura and Knecht could be very solid for Miami. And I harp on Dalton Knecht here because I truly do believe, despite having a poor summer league, despite having an up and down rookie season, this guy could be an impact rotational player in the NBA. I was high on him coming out of Tennessee. I had him as a top 10 player in that draft class. It was a weak draft class, but I did have him in my top 10. And I believe that he could still be an elite three-point shooter in the right system. Could he be Duncan Robinson? No, but he can be a lesser version because he is that good of a shooter off of the catch and off the dribble. I don't think he is as good as a on-ball creator as I thought he would be at the next level, but using him as an off-ball shooter and movement guy and how the Heat used Duncan, I believe that developmental system would be able to get the best out of Dalton Knecht as the Miami system has consistently got the best out of players in the past. Getting to Hachimura here in a second, but one-day flash sale only. This hoodie is on sale for $22 off. You go to chatsports.com/MIA hoodie sale. You can grab this hoodie. Link is in the description and comments of today's video. All sizes are in stock, usually $75. You can get it right now for $52.75. When you go to chatsports.com/MIA hoodie sale, go grab yours right now. Obviously, Knecht is more of a upside play, but Rui Hachimura is a guy who could come in and be a rotational guy for you right away. I mean, he was very solid last year for the Lakers. And yes, he is working off of a Luka, a LeBron, and Miami clearly does not have that in terms of creating open looks for other players. But Hachimura, a former top 10 lottery pick, is a guy that is very versatile defensively as well as offensively. You could start Rui at the 3 in this hypothetical to replace Andrew Wiggins. Or you could bring Rui off of the bench and start Nikola Jovic, a young player in your own system who looks to have a blossoming future ahead of him if he can stay healthy. Either way, if you wanted to go with Hachimura or Jovic at the starting lineup, you have versatility in both that starting lineup as well as off the bench. I don't think that they are better than Andrew Wiggins, but I think if you combine Knecht and Hachimura, you could get more out of this Heat team than if you just had Andrew Wiggins. Now, this isn't me being negative on Wiggs, by the way, because I still believe if he remains on this Heat roster, he will have a very good year. I just simply am not going to turn down an unprotected first-round pick from the Lakers, as well as expiring salary and a former first-round pick. Like, my issue with Wiggins last year was his inability to play basketball. He appeared in just 17 out of 33 regular season games. But you see, He was very good when he was on the court in the regular season. But the problem is for Heat fans is that the 16 missed games and the playoff performance leaves a bad taste in everybody's mouth to where it's like, okay, can this guy really fit with this team long term? But I do believe a Wiggins-led Heat team isn't going to go well. But a Wiggins fourth option behind Powell, Bam, and Hero, well, that's going to go much better. But if you're asking where the Heat stand in potentially making a trade with the Lakers, it is being widely reported by 5 Reasons Sports Network and just common sense, if we're going to be honest, that they've shown no interest in what the Lakers have offered for Andrew Wiggins at this point. Because if they did, it would probably be done by now. We're almost to the regular season. We're damn near, 5 weeks, the 22nd of October. This is September 15th. And from the regular season starting. Like, if they showed interest, the deal would already be done, either at the draft or in between now and then. So I just don't think a trade happens. Could a trade happen during the regular season? Oh, sure. If the Lakers are playing extremely well, Heat are struggling a bit, but Wiggins is still putting up relatively good numbers. Could the Heat trade Wiggins for that exact package at the trade deadline? Absolutely. I'm not putting it past them. But if you're asking me, does a trade happen before the season begins or even training camp begins in a couple weeks? No, I don't think it does. If there was interest, one would already be done. And I don't think the Lakers are willing to offer a first, Knecht, and Hachimura to get Andrew Wiggins. Maybe they get desperate during the season, but right now I don't think they're that desperate. Well, if a trade happens, we will certainly have you covered as we do every day with Heat content. So subscribe, join the channel, and I'll see you tomorrow in the video. Go Heat.